Like I don't see them having too much trouble here on Inferno.
I would agree with all of that as well. But here we go, flying into Inferno now, and the way it goes, since it was the map pick of OpTic, they will of course have to start on the T side, so that's something that can give NRG a bit of a boost here to the confidence, to the new team morale if they can get off to a really strong CT side. But you know, on the flip side of that, if they just start getting wrecked on their CT side, things could fall apart really quickly. But let's see how it's going to go. Looks like we've got Justin and Silent playing over in the B site. And that's going to make Peter, Gob, B, and Legia over at A. And they're going for some highway side apartment control.
Yeah, they think this is a fake. They're putting a lot of noise over in library, with the bomb still sitting at T stairs with that. So I feel like they're just trying to make that noise, hold A players in place, maybe even cause a rotate. But they're looking to do a heavy B hit. But as you can see, Silent and Justin, they haven't budged. They're still holding this little crossfire here at the entrance of Banana. And so that's where we're going to see the execute come in at here. There are a smoke and a flash on Dats. That's going to go ahead and set up the hit. But Silent's going to be right here, trying to see if he can contest
Smoke's coming down. Silent flash. He's got to make... Yep, that's going to disrupt the crossfire. So Silent falls back. Justin now going to be alone versus Stan, who's moving forward. Naf going to plant the bomb. And bomb's going down in a 5v5. They got 2 flashes and a kit. That's going to be on Legia for the retake for NRG. Silent moving in first, and Naf's already taken him down.
So, I mean, it's looking pretty good here for OpTic. They have an even 4-on-4, and they have the bomb down. But NRG, they kind of played patient. They waited it out to their members to get together. Now they're trying to retake this thing together, and it's going back and forth here. 2 versus 2, very, very tight race here on this side. But Shazam, he's going to put the odds in their favor, and he'll even close it out himself. So very nicely done by Shazam at the end to secure the round, but just a good job from OpTic, you know, forcing that crossfire to kind of fall apart, which gave him a free bomb plant, and they just had to hold the retake from there, and they did a good job doing so.
Yeah, and Legia went to go push quad when it was a 2-on-2, but he was, of course, the guy with flashes and a kit, so he had no armor. He took a Glock shot to the chest, was looking at the sky, and that was the easy kill for Shazam, and then he did manage to land the second one after that. It did get a little bit dicey. I thought for a second that retake was going to work out, but of course it doesn't. Yeah. OpTic Gaming leading 1-0, and I think money being, you know, what it is on the CT side, and especially on Inferno, where you need that utility to stop those pesky terrorists, they will just go for upgraded pistols, no armor, and they'll probably just do this 2 times in a row.
As we do see OpTic kind of prodding over here at Banana just a bit. Daps does have that max 10, trying to get that extra money. They use a nice incendiary there, Molotov, to flush Silent out and give Daps that extra money for the SMG kill. Stanislaw also racking up a bit of cash there over on his alert over towards the apartment. So this is just kind of business as usual for OpTic here. Not really having too much trouble finding the second round so far.
Yeah, no, good use of utility to make sure you don't go down to the pistols. And there's a nice $900 kill for Nap. And was it Stan that got the first kill? Because I remember I was interviewing Shazam. He was mentioning it was Daps that Stan has transitioned to be that main entry fragging role on this team. And he did have some good standout performances in that role at the recent minor land. So let's see if he can't continue that.
I think for a while it's kind of been, because Stanislaw came in for Rix, right? And Rix was kind of a 1-2 punch with Rush on this team back when they were Conquest, and I think Stanislaw was always meant to kind of fill that role, but you also do see him at times playing kind of a peripheral role, holding off rotates while it's like Rush and Shazam actually taking a lead on a lot of hits. So we'll just have to see which of those systems falls into place in this game as it plays out. As like you said, NRG not going to invest anything on this round either. It's going to mean that OpTic should be able to get that clean 3-0. I think they may have heard that nade hit Silent, so they might have an idea. Again, someone's kind of playing this up close position.
Well, they're about to see that one go out. He goes a little bit of the ways in. Doesn't do too much damage to Daps. Him and Naf have teamed up to take down Silent and Justin. Shazam elsewhere takes down Peter. Assuming that's at mid, since Peter is going to be that arch player. And Legia just going to peek, hope to get a kill. It falls on Gob B right now. Who has got in for the Deagle? I mean, I guess they didn't buy armor, so it's okay to have a Deagle early on. Because it is expensive. You don't want to break your money.
Right. So now we're going to get into the first round of the game here as far as guns go.
2 team aces in a row, by the way, for OpTic.
That's good, racking up that cash, especially with all those SMGs they had out, so that's definitely good news for them. But yeah, I'm sure we're going to see a few of them upgrade. And this is a map where you were talking about Stanislaw transitioning to an entry fragger. He actually is the one that's going to spearhead the B side of the map a lot of the time, because Rush is usually playing over towards like alt mid, boosting in the boiler and things like that on a lot of their default setups. So Stanislaw will actually have a big role in trying to open up that B bomb site with NAF's assistance. So this time it looks like they're setting up for a pretty heavy alt mid setup. They're just leaving NAF alone at T stairs. And this is where this team really loves to do these 3-2 splits, 3 out halls, and then some out ports. So they love these halls port splits.
Wow, Rush got that kill. He got down to 30 damage from the nades and still almost killed Legia. And oh, nice lineup there. Job B gonna grab down 2 as those guys were so blind going in. Here's Shazam trying to answer back. Does find Legia. Peter just watching this with his op. Nicely done. Keep in mind, OpTic Gaming did keep most of their SMGs alive in this round, trying to exploit the fact that NRG is poor, maybe skipping on head armor. And here's NAF left in a 1 versus 2. He's already got 2 frags. And both of these guys should be unknown. I mean, he's got his ideas of where they're going to want to come from, and they have split up. So he's able to get silent, and now he's got a 1 versus 1. There is an incendiary there on Justin. NAF going for the fake plant, though, trying to bait him out into the open. Does. Now these guys are both quite low. Fake planting once more. Now the fire is going to go down. I was wondering when he might use that. Planting again behind the spam box. Oh my gosh, he wants to get back to default. This is getting a little messy. And Justin, I think rightly so, will win the round.
Yeah, I mean, as you noted, that was OpTic kind of just recycling their SMGs in the previous round, and because of that, they were looking just to take a quick engagement up lane. They knew they had plenty of money in the bank to buy this next round. In fact, they have enough money to probably buy for even another round. So they're just trying to, you know, hedge their bets with an SMG rush up lane. Just didn't really work out. God B actually did a pretty good job getting a couple of initial kills from inside the site to kind of slow that down and allow the rotation to come in. It still came down to a 1v1 though. NAF, pretty decent effort there, but just not quite enough. And now here we're going to see, you know, OpTic kind of, you know, going a little bit more default here, though we are going to see Rush actually kind of leading the charge over at B. So it seems like they have changed some things up since last time I saw them play this map. As a team, so that is kind of interesting to see. But Shazam's still patrolling the middle here. He actually does have the bomb with him, and it looks like they're just kind of spread out, but they have a lot of numbers over towards Banana right now, but they seem to be backing off.
Stan and NAF working together to take that apartment control Molotov to the dark room. And Legia, as he was in the last round, at the back of the long hall. But he would have lost his duel if it wasn't for the early nade damage that went down onto, I believe it was Rush.
Right.
And he's got a FAMAS on this round, so that's not really that confidence building.
As we're going to see Shazam looking to take the initial engagements at mid. He does this pretty much all the time for this team on Inferno, whether it be an AWP or an AK. He likes to try to open things up himself at middle and allow other players like Stanislaw and such to kind of follow in afterwards. But you can see he's just holding the angle, looking for a peek while everyone else is gathering up for a late B execute. Peter hasn't even begun to rotate yet, and both players are inside the site, though, so they won't be blocked off by the CT spawn smoke. So CSI and Justin can win these duels.
All right, well, they will get the smokes down, 1 to Spools, but Silent will go up above that. It doesn't matter. Shazam is there to take him off of his perch. Stan going to get Justin, so Shazam and Stan both hitting the entries here onto the site. Peter coming through, retaking. Whoa! How does he know to look there on top of those the dark boxes? It takes Stan out instantly, but the bomb's gone down, and you've got a 3-on-3. No kits on anyone here for NRG. Man hiding out of the trash, that's going to be Daps. Legia will get the trade, peeks out, finding NAF though in the corner. And Peter, 1 versus 2, trying to get in there. Will tap the bomb, but NAF peeking out of the smoke is too quick for him.
Yeah, and I mean, that round just really came down to the fact that OpTic just had a clean execute on the B bomb site, right? I mean, they put a smoke down on CT to block the rotate, which is pretty far off. Yet you still saw 2 guys from NRG actually just playing the site together, but they just couldn't get anything done. Shazam picks off the Spools player, Stanislaw swings in, grabs the guy in the back of the site, and that's pretty much it. I mean, you have a 5-on-3 post-plant situation. It's going to be very hard to overcome that when you're NRG, and now they're going to actually be forced to take a save here. They just have the pistols right now. And we see Silent and Justin trying to get into the sandbag, trying to play this corner area, but look at that fire. It's forcing Silent out, and he's actually just going to straight up die from it, not able to find anything there. And so that's a good start to the round for OpTic.
Dang. That's the second time a Molotov has been the death of Silent. He's probably about sick of that. But that's really just goes to show how well OpTic is playing, not wanting to get caught off guard when they know these pistols are out on the field. They're clearing everything with the Molotovs or their AKs, as Rush will find Justin, just got B and Peter up now. And they're just going to move out, look for some kills. Got B playing without a silencer because, you know, why not? Also, that gun is badass.
Indeed. So, I mean, he's just the only guy left here. This round's all but optics. So it'll be a 5-1 score here. As it looks like the green wall is holding pretty strong.
Well done.
I guess it's probably a better reference from the PC side.
Well done.
Oh, you're still gonna give it to
I
me
mean,
anyway?
whatever.
I was going to say earlier when we were doing predictions that, like, the green wall shall not let NRG pass to the next stage of the tournament, you know?
That's probably true. My prediction would be 2-0, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, I think so, too. I mean, Cash, there's a reasonable chance for NRG. I didn't think they had any hope on this map, but then when Train comes around, I feel like that's also kind of in the bag for OpTic. So, best case scenario, NRG gets one map out of the series, but yeah, 2-0 is pretty likely. As again, we're seeing NRG basically on a double save, except for this CZ here. That's for Legia. They have a couple of smokes. That's really about it, as it's going to be OpTic working the same default. Russian Daps over at B, Sanslaw and Naf over towards the apartment. So they actually swap. It used to be the other way around, where Russian Daps would work Abs and Sanslaw and Naf with B. So it's a kind of a neat change that we've seen from this team, but it's been successful so far today, that's for sure.
Yeah, I think that's just Stan having switched to his the more entry fragging role, put him in the apartments where they hope to take that first engagement, which would either be bringing down Legia or maybe Justin or Peter if they happen to push into... Actually, there's 4 over at A right now, which is fine because it is just one of those eco rounds. And I do like this from NRG. I mean, not once going for the big force buy with the armor and the upgraded pistols, like trying to make sure that the rifle rounds work and the rifle rounds have the full amount of utility that they need to succeed. It's just unfortunate for them that it's not working. And Shazam, whether that smoke's dissipating and he just realizes that Peter's going to be there, maybe heard a step or heard the scope and was already holding the angle, lines up the shot onto Peter. It goes down. Well, there's no scope. What am I saying? Peter not opping on this round. And everything going the way of OpTic Gaming, as they're just not going to be caught off guard.
Yeah, I mean, OpTic Gaming is, again, going for this late B hit. They've been doing that pretty much all game, it seems like. And this time around, it was even better because there was a big stack over on the A side of the map, so they only had to deal with, you know, one player in the site. And, of course, just pistols. So you add all that together, and it's a pretty easy time there for OpTic, as they're up 6-1 here from the T side of Inferno. So this is like a dream start if you're OpTic, just kind of coasting through this one without too much hassle. We are going to see NRG, though, finally bought back up. Peter will have the op again, and he is top fragging for his team right now, but he's going to have to push it a little bit further here as they need some rounds on this side desperately. They're going to have to save next round as well if this one doesn't work out. So this could be 8-1 for OpTic in just a moment if they can't figure this round out. As again, we are going to see OpTic default, but putting a little bit more pressure towards B. They actually have Shazam with them this time around, trying to work a pick.
Oh man, Justin taking so much damage. OpTic Gaming not going to let up. Not going to get sloppy. They have the nades at car, making sure no one's hiding out. The Molotovs to the sandbags and the wagon again. That brings Justin down to just 24 HP as he moves back. And OpTic Gaming, they've taken a little bit of damage. It was a nade that went down into the base of Banana, hitting a couple of those guys. Actually, just 2 of them within 1 shot from any of these M4s. That damage could go a long way. For now, Silent still just going to be holding out and watching that smoke push up at Banana. Legia is actually kind of playing Arch this round, and Peter more so in the site, watching that either highway or apartments run out.
Peter went for a Halls pick, actually, but no one was there. Napped it and peek it. But look at this. They're looking to try to do a B split, it looks like, as they have 3 coming up the archway. Shazamadads have that bomb in Banana, so they just have to get past Legia. They're going to smoke them off here, and they're going to make their way to the arch. They're now in CC spawn, and now this is a nightmare for NRG, but Legia did pick up one through the smoke, and Silent has picked up on it. He's rotating to the B side. He's able to find one. Doesn't find the second, but he's keeping his team in this. They're still 1-man up.
Justin gonna pop flash himself out. Not a very effective pop flash out here from behind Newbox. I knew exactly where he was, but Shazam will miss his shot. Justin, I guess, with that peak year's advantage, taking down Shazam. So man advantage to NRG eSports on what could be a very, very important round. Don't try to plant the bomb yet. They need to even it up, and they do. Actually, Rush was trying to plant. Daps gets his frag onto Legia, and bomb goes down within the smoke. Near hit there for Peter through the smoke, but unfortunately for him, it does miss. Now Peter with that op barrel going to be going through construction, so Daps, that's going to be an easy kill. He probably saw that coming from a mile away, and God be left in a 1 versus 2.
Low HP on Rush, but it's not going to matter.
Daps
He won't
4K.
won't even be able to find Rush there. Daps, like you said, with the quad kills. So really well done for Monta. They even kind of played from behind that round, right? Like NRG had picked up on what they were laying down, and they even got a 1-man advantage. They were up in a 4v3 at one point, actually, but OpTic able to even it back up into a 2-on-2 and then close it out in the end, and that means they're up 7-1 and a very good chance for 8, as NRG is not going to have much to work with this round. So OpTic, as we kind of expected, looking quite dominant today so far.
Yeah, I mean 7-1 on the T side, the work is pretty much done, but I don't think they're going to quit yet. They're not calling it. They want another shot, qualifying for that major, and this is where they start.
Yeah. I mean, you got to think that they feel like they need this, right? I mean, they were the ones expected to when the minor got ripped away from them, getting upset by Splice in the semifinals. They didn't even make it to the final of that event. So, I mean, this team who has high expectations, you know, will walk away from this tournament not happy unless they've won it. This is a good start.
Definitely. Also getting picked up by one of the bigger organizations in esports, so you want to try to make those new owners proud. As there's Daps, man, 4K in the last round. Sure, this is just a save from NRG, but still finding that opening frag. There's Shazam. He takes down Legia. They take a lot of damage for it. Now Daps is just getting pushed in on, and they go double peek him. So Justin will get that frag. God B is going to get a free one here onto Shazam, so that's an op into his hands.
They have a couple of guns to try to attempt this, but it's like Justin just saving his AK, and God B didn't even get a chance to make a choice. Just got ripped immediately after taking just one quick shoulder peek. So that's another round here for OpTic in the books. Up 8-1 now. It doesn't look like it's going to get any better. I mean, NRG hasn't proven to us at all that they're capable of winning around here. I mean, the closest they got was a couple of rounds ago where they did win some initial fights, even had a man advantage, but still couldn't close out the round. That's the closest they've been to around this entire game, outside of the one they obviously took in the 4th. But yeah, it's been all downhill since.
Yeah, it really has. And I mean, the money, they are still being careful with their money, so they're always going to have a good chance to get the next round.
And even that one win they had wasn't decisive, right? It came down to a 1 versus 1, you know, so.
I mean, most of the rounds for OpTic have been decisive, like 4 or 5 people alive. There's only been, what, 3 occasions when... 2 occasions when there were 2 people? No, 3 of those. But on the T side, I mean, winning with 2 people is generally fine. Right. Especially if you're saving that op, which is more expensive. And here's the nades and the Molotovs up to the car. That's going to push Peter back into the B site. Peter trying to be that mobile op. I mean, we've seen him play in Arch. We've seen him go for the Halls pick. Now he's over at B, actually 3 fortified up at B. But Peter not having really any success. He's got 4 kills, which is tied for the most on his team. But that's not too good when the lowest frag on the other team, which is Rush with 5, still has more.
And Peter wants to stay here, right? They've been doing a lot of late round B hits over at OpTic. Within like usually they transition in the last 30 or so seconds to a B hit, so he wants to kind of stay in the area. But now we do see Shazam and Stanislaw taking control of brackets here, getting that initial level of mid, and from here they can use this as a platform to launch an attack up porch or up arch, or even fall back into late B once they've caused enough pressure to force a rotate or something.
Which they did.
Yeah, at least see the set smokes being thrown, so yeah, it's going to be an A-hit coming. And one of their first real heavy A-hits this entire game, and it's coming here in round number 10 as they're coming up the archway.
Wow, smoked off of Library and an Arch. Legia in a pretty good spot here up on the Spire that's in the pit. Got B looking through that truck. Everyone's favorite piece of cover in CSGO, but Naf out of the apartments finds one, is aware that the second's in here, and that's Got B going down. Nice double entry from Naf. And he turned it into more. As 3-on-3, actually Peter making it a 3-on-2 in favor of NRG, going in onto the retake. He'll opt down Shazam. Peter's still coming from a Library, but there's Naf. Another kill, a triple so far for him, and Daps holding out on the site. Daps is very low. Man gets criticized a bit here for OpTic Gaming, but I think he is one of the better players in the clutch situation.
This is looking good for Daps. Now they have a nice crossfire here, and Daps continues to light him up. Could even get the ace, but no, he's silenced after 4, but it's still Daps alive. yeah, Justin doesn't even have an opportunity to check to see their Daps will take him out, and that's 9 rounds for OpTic, and just a greatly designed round by them, right? Just getting the smokes on Arch and Library, forcing the players in sight and pit to worry about that wraparound, which lets Naf just kind of slip out the halls and grab a couple of big frags and secure the site. He came up with 4 by the time the round was over, so really well orchestrated there by OpTic.
Yeah, that was beautiful. I mean, generally, you see someone coming out of apartments, they get murdered no matter what. That's usually the distraction to let people come up up the highway side, but like you said, they split it perfectly. Naf just walks out of apartments, gets a double.
Plus, the player that was in pit was like hiding in the corner by truck, so he couldn't even fight him from like the pole.
Yeah.
And now NRG's forced to save again, except for some upgraded pistols and armor. Well, they actually kind of went all out, but it's not much, right? Just some upgraded pistols and armor, and they're already a man down.
This is the first time we've actually seen NRG put a full force buy together in terms of armor upgraded pistols and a decent amount of utility. So I don't know if that's saying, hey, you know,
that's desperation.
Our regular just upgrades and pistols is not working. Have they tilted now going in for this full force buy, which is kind of weird to say because the force buys are so common, and CT force buys and Inferno are actually some of the more deadly ones. But it's just not working out at all. Here's Silent with a 5-7. Daps will take him down. That's the last frag of the round. It's 10-1, man.
I mean, I get to some degree. You don't want to like harp on this too much because it is their first official match together as a team. They just got announced yesterday. They haven't been practicing together for that long, maybe a few weeks. Though Legia and Gabi have apparently already moved to NA. You can tell by their pings that they're, I guess, living maybe in the NRG like league house or something like that. But yeah, I mean, you got to show us something here on the CT side of Inferno. I mean,
I think they're in Vegas, right?
I have no idea.
Peter was saying he moved to Vegas. I saw it on a tweet last night, so I guess that's where their headquarters might be.
Who so?
Yeah, cameraman Kevin giving me the confirm that Peter, Legia, and Gabi are all in Vegas.
Why do they have different pings?
Seems like such a bad city to practice in. You know, everything's open 24/7. Like you can gamble, you can drink anywhere. Like, how are you gonna get your practice in Vegas? But yeah, like you said, Renegades is there as well.
Might be cheap. I don't know.
Yeah, it probably is.
Like if you rent out like a living space in one of those casinos, it's probably pretty cheap because they expect you to gamble a lot. I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you what was a
I
gamble,
do know, Joey,
putting this roster together for NRG
yeah,
eSports.
For sure. That was a way better segue than what I was about to do. Props to you, Joey.
Thank you.
So it wasn't even a good gamble either. It was like betting green and roulette every time. You know what I mean? Like, you're probably not going to win that one too often.
Her name is James Bardolph. You probably will, but
he bet black though.
Yeah, I know. Let's see what we got going on here before Dust says something stupid. Yeah. We've got NRG with 5 people now against the 2-1 of OpTic. It's just Naf all alone. He's going to try to make it expensive, but can't. He goes down. Justin with the 3K on this round, and just as we kind of divert on our train of thought and what we're talking about, NRG actually show up and grab themselves a round. But is it too little too late?
There's already 10 rounds on the board from the T side here from OpTic on Inferno, so I'm gonna go ahead and assume it's probably a bit too late, especially given the fact I've seen OpTic put up some pretty good CT sides on this map, even against like Fnatic at EUPL Season 2. They had 9 rounds against that team, so I firmly expect OpTic to put this one away, but it's a little bit of a victory there for NRG, at least getting around, proving they can win one. Maybe they'll use that to boost their morale and go for some more here, as they are going to fall back Lord Default this time around, though Peter is going to have his op and halls again aggressively.
Man, Silent forced back by the Molotov and hit square in the face with the HE nade. So he's already taken 60 damage. He's quite low. OpTic have been really good at working in Banana. They've also got a great system of working into the apartments, and then once they get the control, they can flip it back to either site. So it's been fun to watch, but they are just going to commit. Naf gets that kill onto Legia. That was actually the lurk kill. Legia was working down middle, going for an information grab, trying to get on that flank. Justin here was a big player in the last round, but from Nubucks, only could find the 1 frag. And it's Peter, last one up here for NRG, OpTic Gaming with 4, and he's got that off. He's just going to want to save money. I mean, having reset your bonus, this is where things get pretty dicey. So 1 rifle round on the board for NRG, and if you go back and look at round 4, remember there were still 2 or 3 submachine guns in that round for OpTic Gaming. So really just 1 rifle victory for NRG thus far.
And even that came down to a 1 versus 1, so nothing really decisive from NRG except for that last round that we saw in the 12th. But, I mean, look, it's OpTic running the exact same play, and this time around they're like, nah, man, like, we're going to wreck you. You know, like, maybe we slipped up last round, but that's not going to fly every time, as they just, I mean, they want a decisive round here, right? They're going to have 3 guys alive when it's all said and done, unless Peter can find some more of the op.
I'm triggered. Why is that unspammable?
I mean, but let's face it, OpTic pretty much won that, only losing 1 player before they started chasing after the saving op. So, I mean, that was still a pretty clean win there for OpTic. And yeah, it's the last round of the half, and money's a bit tight on NRG. Or that's not the last round of the half, but this is NRG's last buy of the half, unless they can win this one.
Yeah, exactly. So if it goes 12-2, it's going to be an easy 13-2. Because we've seen 0 successful 4-spot eco rounds from NRG eSports. Which, I mean, I guess it could still maybe happen as Silent, like, he's like the grenade monster. All he does is eat grenades.
Yeah, I feel like every round in the first 5 seconds he opens up with like a 40 health loss or something like that.
Yeah, it's tough. Takes 50 there. That's gonna weaken those B defenses. Peter not gonna rotate over. Legia, whoa, you got crouch peeked so hard. Legia wasn't even close to aiming at Naf there.
Yeah, you got outplayed a little bit there, and so now there's already 2 guys down here from NRG. Silent finally got finished off over at Banana, and we see Peter taking a lot of heat there through the smoke. Justin trying to hold strong inside the B site, trying that pop flash again. This time it works out a bit better, but he's still gonna get gunned down by Rush, and I mean, again, it's just OpTic only losing 1 player. Peter's forced us to say this influence the only gun they're going to even have next round. And it's very likely going to be a 13-2 half here from OpTic. I mean, this is just straight embarrassing right now. I don't know what else to say.
I mean, Justin's trying, right? He's kind of that one player that I thought could maybe stand up because he's legit the only semi-solid rifler that they have on this team with Silent switching. Like, he was a good opper. Silent switching to rifle, though, he's 3-13. I mean, you can chalk it up to being on Inferno, but again, you are CT side. He has also ate a grenade every single round and started with 50 or 40 HP. Peter's doing all right with his op, but I mean, no one else is really pulling their weight.
But isn't that a sad thing to say when your star rifler is supposed to be Justin? That's no shot against Justin, by the way. That's just saying that, like, you don't have a lot of depth on your team if that's your star rifler, right? Like, he's a young guy. Maybe he can work his way up the ranks in NA, but yeah, there's just not enough talent on this team, I don't think. Granted, I take it with a grain of salt. This is their first game together, but I don't see it getting that much better over time. I really don't.
Yeah, it can be hard with the international teams. I mean, not very many of them work out, right? I mean, I guess your Gamers 2 being the best example of an international team.
But even that's taken a bajillion roster changes.
That's like mainly Swedish now anyways, so...
They have 1 Swede on that team.
Oh. They had more than 1 at one point.
They actually have more Norwegians on that team than Swedes.
Whatever. I knew it was something. Well, when they had Dennis, they had another 2.
That's true. They had 2 and 2 at that point.
I think at one point they had 3.
Now they have a Dane that came in for a Swede, basically.
Yeah, whatever, dude. It's all like
it's okay, man.
Similar region of the world, whatever.
Solid American geography.
Yeah. I only know where America is. It's the only country I can point to on the globe. As Justin's gone down, and this is that last round we talked about. Not a lot in here for NRG and Silent.
Man.
Like, Silent's probably so mad. Like, I don't even think he's had an opportunity to aim at somebody. Like, honestly, he's gone down to grenades or like spam through the boards every single round.
Yeah, it's not been pretty over there. As we're in the last moments of the final round of the half, where OpTic are going to put up the number 13 from the T side of Inferno, mind you. So this is certainly not been certainly not been too much of a problem here for OpTic, but I mean we're probably about to be done here soon, unless NRG come with a pistol to try to delay this a little bit longer. But it seems like this map is going to be OpTic's with really no issue.
This just in, Inferno is T-sided, but I mean, big performance here from Daps. And what's the old axiom is you're only as good as your weakest player, which is generally Daps. And Daps just kicked some ass this match. So that's another thing that's not going NRG's way. Daps had 5 first kills. He was good in some clutch situations. He's actually the only one that has a clutch. He had a 1vx. Though it was briefly just that 1v1. And that's actually the round where Naf got the 4K at A. But Naf with 23 kills, Daps with 17, Shazam Stan and Rush at 10, 10, and 8 respectively. Maximum number of kills in that half was 9 for Justin.
Yeah,
That's
and that was you know, playing the B bomb site where he was able to get a kill here or there, but it was always OpTic who were trading more efficiently. So I mean, it never really even panned out too much. But now we're in the pistol in the second half. This is NRG's last hope to make something happen in this map, as Peter is going to jump up into the window here. Stanislaw does spot him out, but begins to fall back to try to cover this arch push, but he gets busted. Justin takes him out. Now they actually have a man advantage wrapping the safe side.
Oh, Peter, I would have laughed so hard if Peter died jumping out of a window there. Here's Naf, nice flash. Actually does just get the one. And Legia is able to move in and take him out. And here you go. The pistol round for NRG working out. Bomb's going to go down. Nade trying to go in there and find the target, but it will miss. Too much cover in that site, really, for nades to be that effective. And here's Rush with another one. The only one to get kills, actually, for OpTic was Rush. Finds a 2K, but it's not enough. NRG maybe have some hope.
Yeah, I mean, Peter kind of running distraction inside the window room, keeping Stanislaw's focus, which allowed him to kind of slip up mid into the archway. And when Stanislaw tried to fall back to stop it, he got caught, and then it just kind of was a chain reaction from there. And, I mean, NRG, great work on the pistol. They're going to go ahead and buy up here and up. 3 Galeos and an AK, also a decent amount of utility. OpTic, you know, doing kind of a similar pattern to NRG, not really upgrading too heavy here. Just some pistols, some P250s, 1 armor on Naf.
Yeah.
And that's going to be it. And I mean, you got to hope NRG gets this one right. This would just be crushing if they get ecoed here.
Surprised that Naf, I mean, I guess Naf is feeling it because he's been fragging so hard that he goes for the bigger buy-up, but it seems like it would have been smarter to maybe have Rush do it, since Rush did get 2 kills that round, so at least he had $600 extra to work with, which I suppose is why he's gone for the more expensive pistol, the Deagle, and some utility with that flash.
Yeah, I've also noticed, I don't know if this is going to hold, but Naf used to play apartments, and Bats was the B rotator with Stanislaw, but they look like they've swapped. But I don't know if that'll hold in gun rounds, but just kind of something to keep an eye on, as we do see this team still evolving, of course, still trying to figure out the best options for positions.
Ooh. It's Dap's turn to eat grenades. He's in the back of Pit, goes down to 30. Shazam was at Arch, but was forced back. He's now taken a secondary position into the library, watching if they're going to run up. A couple smokes here for NRG if they want to try to use them, put them down. And they're just slowly working their way in. But they're working their way into somewhat of a crossfire. I mean, Rush is here with the Deagle. Doesn't even hit his first target. Where do those bullets even go, honestly? And everyone hits their shot into the A site. So it's at the stand. And Naf, I assume, is going to save.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that armor in 5.7 is certainly worth carrying over to the next round. Stanislaw, though, just with the $300 P250 investment, we'll kind of reach out here towards the other side of the map, see if he can't maybe find an exit or something like that. But it is NRG able to put another round on the board, so they're well set up to at least get the 5 before it's all said and done. So, giving us a little bit of something here.
Yeah, I mean, this is pretty big. Plant the bomb. They didn't lose any of their guns either. So money is going up. They're not going to be forced to upgrade. And Galeals aren't great, but you can also take them into the first rifle if they happen to preserve them all again. And Stan shows up in time for the bomb to blow up.
Yeah,
so NRG kind of knows where he was.
Hoping they maybe catch someone sitting inside the pit or something like that, but no one was there. So he will fall, but it is, you know, of no real cost. It's the $300 P250. Naf did hold on to his armor in 5.7. We do see Rush actually picking up his CZ and a flash, and nade on Stanislaw. So maybe we'll see a little bit of a push here from Banana with Stanislaw having that one nade.
Yeah, we got a smoke, a nade, and a flash. None of which have been used yet. It looks like Stan just now throwing that nade, and whoo, Justin, he eats it. Over there
not
at
silent this
the
time,
bottom
man.
of Banana. Yeah, silent.
Sounds like thanks.
God, saw that grenade coming. Just imagine the pain that I experienced in the last half. Rush is thinking about popping out a boiler. He won't do it yet. He needs them to be baited up. But as I say that, Shazam, who is probably going to be that bait, is slowly backing off and rotating to B. So it seems like OpTic have a pretty good read on this round, as 4 people and the bomb included are in Banana ready to go.
Yeah, this is looking good for OpTic. As far as the gambling goes, they've rolled a good one this round as far as player positioning. Let's just see if they can get the frags over. Silent is going to go ahead and lead the execute here. He does spot one, boots it up top, and he does take Naf out. Also, Justin clearing out spools, but Stanislaw, look at him. He's just lurking around,
he's
hiding,
scared,
waiting for the right moment. Oh, he gets sniffed out, I think. Yeah. That's that.
Yeah, it is. Rush gonna hold a bit of an angle. See if he can't get an exit. I don't know if it's just because I stayed up way too late last night watching Brood War and I'm somewhat sick, but on the back of the CZ, if you look at the hammer, and the iron sights, doesn't it kind of look like a cat?
I'm
like
done, man.
sitting and facing the other way. It's like two little cat ears and the tail coming out because it looks like a cat. Someone should make that a skin.
Yeah, BZ versus Effort. 3-1. Watch that.
Yeah, dude, that was sick. Felt like a little kid again.
We are going on to the first gun round here, the second half. OpTic has a pretty substantial lead, but NRG at least kind of kept themselves alive by getting a 3-0 start here in the second half. But now things will get increasingly more difficult as Shazam should be able to get an op out. They'll play that archway. And Stanislaw going to be able to fully gear out. And he's quite a good B-side anchor for the NA scene. So they have a lot on their hands over here at NRG to try to get through this defense. And especially also Rush, who has played this lane position his entire CSGO career and is quite good at it. So there's definitely a lot to deal with here from OpTic. They have guns in their hands.
You're telling me he leads the rush on T side and he stops the rush on CT side?
Yeah, sure.
Why not? I mean, how else do you come up with that name? As more smokes and some top banana control remaining for OpTic. Actually, NRG didn't throw any of their Molotovs early on, so they still will have those after the smokes dissipate over there in banana if they want to try to clear behind car and sandbags. Stan going up top, trying to look over. Maybe hit some shots, but they will back off just as that smoke disappears. And Rush playing one of the strongest positions, honestly, on this this highway side, just up on the single box, peeking over.
Yep. He either does this or plays behind default boxes like all the time. And, like, he just is so used to taking those shoulder peeks. Like I said, he's played the spot his entire CS:GO career. And it looks like we are going to see a little bit of a B pin trying to go on here from NRG. They slipped a couple players up the archway, but Shazam, he's so ready for it. Just waiting here in the spawn, able to pick up the bomb carrier, actually. Looking for another Legia, though. Gonna trade. He'll be able to pick the bomb back up. But Stanislaw's still looking for this banana hit. He's still playing the spools. They also have one hidden in the dark corner, so this is going to get rough if NRG can't sniff that out.
Yeah, Stan having to give up the spools, though, because he knows that Legia has run up on the other side. And there it is. 2 big kills for Legia. Might just make this round. Naf does find Justin, but silence there for the immediate trade out. And it's up to Rush and Daps on this retake effort. Luckily, they are coming from different directions, so that'll work in their favor. And Flash going to go in, smoked at CT, so that's going to funnel Rush over towards Legia. And there it is again, having a big performance. 3 kills on this round for Legia. That's going to be Rush opting to save.
Yeah, I think the big part of that round was actually killing Stanislaw for free. Like, that was the biggest kill to get, because if Stanislaw could have done any type of work, that would have allowed Naf to remain hidden even longer at dark spot, be able to come out and make a bigger play. But as it stood, he was the last guy left at B, and he had to try to make a play. He was forced out, and there was so many people left clearing the site, undistracted, that he just really couldn't come up with much. But yeah, I mean, I thought that was going well. Like, even Shazam was kind of holding off that archway hit for a while, but in the end, NRG able to overcome things, secure another round, and live to fight a few more rounds at least now, as OpTic is low on cash.
Yeah, they're still going to make a play for this. They got that round buffer, so they feel comfortable spending their money, and they did save that op, so that's back over the hands of Shazam. Stan picks up a Mag 7 and some upgraded pistols on the other guys. And Rush still with a kit, which could be pretty big.
So we'll see if Stanislaw can put that Mag 7 to work. As you said, looks like he's just going to be tucked inside the B-bomb site, though, not playing like sandbags or anything too aggressive. Shazam still does have his op as well. So there's a couple of things for OpTic to work with here. Looks like it is going to be a B hit. All 5, or excuse me, 4 gathered up over here. B-Leg is still working over towards the apartments.
Yeah, we saw how good OpTic Gaming was at putting Molotovs in this corner, and well, guess who doesn't do it? It's NRG. Stan able to get 2, nearly finding a 3rd, but that right there could maybe decide the round. Now Shazam's op gonna get involved. That takes down Gob B, just Legia and Silent up. One of them has gone into the B site. Legia still lurking around in middle. He will take down Daps, making it a 2 versus 3 from NRG's perspective. But Rush moves in with that CZ, quickly double dinking Silent into the grave, and it's Legia 1 versus 3.
Yeah, and Rush also picked up the AK and Incendiary going down here. Bomb down, not looking good for Legia at all. And I mean, that really boiled down to the fact that they led B with an op and never checked that close right corner. I mean, that's just unforgivable. You gotta check that, especially on a round where you know OpTic is low on cash, and they're gonna try a gimmicky play like that, like hiding sandbags or hiding behind car or hiding close right corner. And yeah, you're gonna let your op lead, who's not really the best player to try to clear that type of stuff while they're going for a pick. And I mean, just Stanislaw made him pay for it with 2 quick mag 7 frags, and that was a big difference maker in that round.
Did your GoTV just lag out like super hard right there? Yeah, 2 lagged out. That was a weird little hiccup on the server, but it does look like OpTic took that round.
Yep.
Really, that's surprising.
Yeah. That, as well as there was no smoke on CT spawn, so Shazam was able to get like a free op pick on a guy crossing sight. So that combined with the 2 like free frags from Stanislaw in that corner with the mag 7, I mean that pretty much ended any hopes that NRG had at getting that one. And that also puts you in a rough spot now, right? Because yeah, you can buy this round, but if you lose this when OpTic goes for the W, you're not going to have much to work with.
All right, so I mean, if OpTic Gaming win this round, and I was trying to figure out what just happened. I think you just went over that point that if OpTic win this, there's no money for NRG, and it should be the easy closeout. So round 21, pretty much the most important round thus far for NRG, trying to make this comeback, or OpTic if they just want to close it out and get over to Cash, which was the pick of NRG, and you would expect it to maybe fare a little bit better there. As nade damage going down. And that's going to be Silent. Silent back in the thick of it, eating some grenades, taking some damage. Peter also took quite a bit.
Now they're just using the smoke to kind of, still hold a bit up close here on the car and sandbags, prevent Silent and Justin from clearing that out for a time, which kills a little bit more time on the clock, especially in this default type situation that the NRG is in. You're just denying them control of the map for as long as you can. And that's certainly going to bode well here for OpTic, because Snaf will even just kind of hang around here now that the smoke is gone a bit, but now begins to fall back, finally conceding, but look how much time they've already killed. And they haven't really still used all their utility. Like, Stanislaw still has a smoke and an incendiary.
Yeah, so a minute off the clock and still able to kill another 15 or 30 seconds with that utility. Could push NRG into a pretty late round execute. I mean, they've got a few Molotovs for themselves. It looks like they want to flash out Boiler and try to take control of top mid, which they do. Rush is very blind, but no one has checked him because he's up on top of the porch. I mean, what a round to use a strong position like that. You can usually only get away with it once or twice and a half, but there's not much of a half left. And OpTic know if they win this round, they probably win the map. So I like it. 4-on-4 though.
Yeah, good pick to get Shazam. I mean, they're in a 4-on-4. They've traded evenly, so they still have a good shot in this. But Daps is inside the site, laying down Incendiary to try to slow down lane, but it didn't really hit well. They're still going to be able to pour out the lane without too much resistance. But Daps is holding firm in the site for 1 frag, but again, it's an even trade, which is going to favor NRG. And now they have a man advantage with the bomb going down right here in the last few seconds.
Yeah, Rush might have jumped the gun trying to get out of that library and just engage. There are 2 people looking right at him. So now it just falls onto Stan and Naf, trying to work their way in, and they're both just going to go from the same side.
I think Rush is just hoping to stop the bomb plant since there's 7 seconds left on the clock.
That's true. And I got baited out by that timer.
Yeah, exactly. And so, good round there from NRG. They used up pretty much the entire clock to get it done, but they, held even or a man ahead throughout the entire round. So just some good trading there from NRG. And now they have 7-14. They avoid, a map point for now from OpTic, and also avoid their economy being tanked. Meanwhile, they've caused OpTic to actually have to take a bit of a force buy here, which is going to give them a chance to have an easier time getting an 8th round. So they're starting to play themselves back into this game a little bit here. Still probably a few rounds off.
Yeah,
to
still
really
kind of a long way
to a comeback effort, but at least it's not going to be a super embarrassing final score.
No, whether or not it's a super embarrassing final score, their CT side was super embarrassing for NRG. Their T side hasn't looked that bad. Or likewise, maybe OpTic Gaming CT side just isn't really performing
I
that
feel
well
like that
either.
happens a lot with new teams where like T sides work out better because you just have one guy leading and telling you what to do and you just kind of follow that plan. Whereas on CT you have to think a lot for yourself. You really have to focus on how you rotate and when you rotate and things like that. Sometimes if you're not meshed well yet, it's hard to make those reads on the CT side.
So Stan has already found that first kill. It was a really nice 1D at the base of Banana. He was able to fall back. Daps is going to go down though as he's actually trying to jump into the apartments. So bit unfortunate for him, and then the stack is completely over at the B side right now for OpTic. NRG still taking time, but I think they'll realize pretty soon that the site is clear.
Yeah, as they're going to start pouring into A now, as you said, no one really around except for Shazam inside the library with the Deagle, but I'm sure Stanislaw, I mean, they might just go for this anyway. I mean, they're looking to buy next round anyhow, so they looks like they just want to try to hedge their bets and see if they can't get some kills here, maybe make a miracle happen and even win this round, but they're holding pretty patient just at the arch side, is hoping people will exit that direction. Get some kills here at the end of the round, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, everyone else can move in. Stan might want to consider saving. He's a little bit poor. He's also pretty low, but he's got that Deagle. He's trying to work the range, try to find a kill. Rush has gone down. He had a CZ in armor. And it looks like that's going to be that. Hoping for some exits. Couple guys hiding out in the back of pit. Stan has now spotted one. He's super low, though. He wants to... Oh, actually, that person went down to the bomb?
Yeah.
Wow, Stan tags him low enough. And Shazam brings down Legia, so making it a little bit expensive.
They pick up 2 AKs there on Naf and Stan as well.
Yeah,
so
that's
that saves them a
massive.
little bit of money into this round. Shazam will be able to pick up the op as well. So it's, you know, OpTic back to, you know, a comfortable buy here. We're going to see if they can go ahead and work this thing to map point, or can NRG keep the good times rolling right now. I mean, they've been able to only lose one round this entire half, so they've really made a bit of an effort in coming back. Like I said, I think they're still a few rounds off of really knowing for sure whether there's any shot at that, but they're working towards it right now, as again, they're opening pretty default. This Legia lurking these apartments like he's done every round. Silent and Dustin working over here towards Banana. So just, you know, opening standard, but Legia's moved up the halls pretty quickly. He's already right at the balcony here.
Yeah, it looks like Legia has been playing that with a mirrored position. He was holding it on the CT side, working it when they go towards A on their T side. So that was good. And Peter does have his op, and as I said, he takes down Shazam.
The big pick to get here.
Only 2 players at A.
As Legia just sits parked here, and he can come out late to lurk. He can, when they make this like lane push, if they're going to do that, he can come out and grab someone on the side for free. Like, he's in a really, really good position here to make something happen.
Alright, nice to see use of those Molotovs. Actually, fire going out from both sides here, trying to clear out the Nook, and OpTic Gaming trying to stop them from pushing up the arch side. Rush, though, in a strong position. Last time we saw him here, he actually gave it up and kind of pushed forward for some information, but there's a big play for Naf. He gets 2 over on the arch side. Rush now is actually going to make that play. He'll push down. He's going to look middle. He expects him to be rotating, and oh, there he goes. Brings out the bomb. Peter falls. Who reloads? Not Rush. He's just going to switch over to that AK, and he'll get a kill on the Justin. So Rush and Nafly coming up massive on this round, and Daps is able to close it out with the kill on Legia. It was looking good for NRG, but then everything fell apart at top mid.
And that was really just came down to Naf, right? Just the timing of that peek from the arch shot, able to get 2 kills. That was really critical. Not only that, but Rush, also just the timing on when he decided to push lane and actually peek mid and check for that rotate back to like a late B hit, which was certainly the case. I mean, the bomb was headed that direction, but he cut it off. So some really big plays there from Rush and Naf to bring that round back, and now it's map point here for OpTic. NRG, not so much to work with here. Just a couple of Tech 9s, a CZ, 1 Galil, 1 AK, limited utility. So this is certainly not a good situation for NRG, but again, Legia going to creep up very quickly over to the balcony, almost like they're setting up for something similar that they were going for the last round. See how it pans out this time around.
Yeah, I mean, making some noise would be hoping that maybe one of them... Oh, well, that's actually Legia that walks out first. He walks straight into Daps. I thought he would just hold there and maybe hope one of them would look for some info, push down the long haul, and he could get a quick frag on them, take their gun, but not going to be the case. 4 people now for NRG, and all of them are in Banana. They got Peter on the flank, kind of watching middle.
And this is where it could all end here. This is NRG looking for one last effort, but Naf and Stanislaw, they haven't rotated. They've held their ground, but their rotate is pretty far away. Shazam's still tucked in the library, hasn't shown any signs of drifting towards CT spawn just yet, because they don't have anyone watching brackets. So they have no idea what's going on mid right now. So because of that, NRG's able to kind of abuse that and look to get like a 4-on-2 execute here, but still some utility. Stanislaw still has an incendiary, so does Naf. So as it comes down to the last 20 seconds, they're going to have to run through fire to execute this site.
Yeah, or extinguish it and run through a smoke of their own. Smokes are going down, but another fire will come out. Naf is just going to peek into the smoke and start spamming. He lands, actually, you can see some shots hitting Justin down super low. Dan hiding out in the back of the site, still alive, still healthy here with 80 HP. And Shazam starting to pick them off. Naf's able to come out and get two real quick from on top of the spools. He takes down Gabi and Justin. That closes it out 16-8 NRG. Able to put 3 rounds up in the pistols off that second half, and then kind of 3 in between the rifles and the anti-eco. So they get 6 on their T side, but it's not nearly good enough after how abysmal their CT side was.
Yeah, and that last round is really just boils down to, like, if you can't bait utility out of those banana players, and on top of that, you don't apply any pressure to make anyone even consider rotating off of B, and you're going to try to do, like, a execute on B in the last 30 seconds while you still have guys sitting on incendiary and smokes at banana, you're going to have a bad time. I mean, it's just so hard to try to do a late B execute when you haven't caused a rotate or when you haven't baited utility. And I mean, that was just too easy to close there for OpTic. And then obviously, when you look at the first half of the game, I mean, it says it all, right? 13 rounds from the T side. Not only that, but the 2 rounds that NRG got were ones where they immediately lost and had their money reset. So, I mean, it was just like a nightmare in the first half for NRG. Just couldn't get anything done on the CT side. And that pretty much lost them the game right there.
Yeah, I mean, big standout performance from Naf. He was a little slow to get going in the second half, but Naf did end up with 30 kills. Daps found 20, so good performance from him. Stan and Shazam at 14 and Rush at 16. And then Justin on NRG, I mean, that's the one player that's kind of going to need to stand out. He's like the one true rifler on this team. Has some, average stats within the North American pro scene. So looking at him to do well, and he did all right. He ended up 16-19. He turned it around on the T side, as actually most of the team did. Silent had like 3 kills in the first half, ended up getting 7 in just a few rounds that they did play in the second half. But now it's over to Cash. This was the pick of NRG. I mean, still going into this, we've got to favor OpTic Gaming, almost favoring OpTic Gaming for the whole thing, just as we were in the minor. They kind of let themselves down, and I'm sure let a lot of their fans down as they're under that OpTic banner now. So they're looking to make up for it. They're hungry, and NRG, a new team, but with a decent amount of experience. What do you make going into the second map, Dust?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely favor OpTic here again. I mean, we've seen them do pretty well on Cash in the past. Like they even had a win on it, like against Dignitas at the last CEVO finals that they were at. They had a win on it against Splice at the minor, despite losing the series. They've had a couple of losses.
That's the map they dominated on too.
Yeah,
16-5.
exactly. Yeah, so it's one of the maps that they favor in their pool over at OpTic, that they put some good time into. Though, of course, they've also had some pretty big losses on Cash. I mean, it's mixed results there. But that's kind of OpTic as a team, shaky. Like, they have a good land result here, and they have a disappointing one there. So it's kind of like, ups and downs for OpTic, and Cash is a perfect example of that. But given what we just saw there on Inferno, it just seems like OpTic's just a different class of team than what NRG is. Though I would say that, from what I understand, this is the one map that NRG is actually putting a lot of time into. So if there was ever a map that they were going to beat OpTic on, it would make sense it would be a map like this one that they've put a lot of time into, one that's proven to be inconsistent for OpTic. But we'll just have to see, what happens here in just a few moments when we get into that game.
Yeah, hopefully we'll be able to see some of the fruit of NRG's labor here on Cash in map number 2. Maybe we'll get to see Train, see OpTic play one of the maps that we know they're very good on and push it to a full best of 3. But this is just one of many best of 3s today. We also have, Winter Fox TSM, and also Torqued versus
Games Academy, which comes up next. The Winter Fox game comes later. So
yeah, okay. So Torqued Games Academy is the best of 3 after this. But we'll take a short break. Hopefully you've enjoyed watching the Last Chance Online qualifiers for the Americas regions. I'm Helium. That's Dust. I think you can see our Twitters in the frame. I'm at Helium Barella. That's at Dust Murray. Tweet and let us know what you think. Sorry, I'm a little sick. I know I probably sound ridiculous, but Dust will carry us through the day, and we'll be back after a break. See you soon.